What is good, y'all? We are back at it again. My name is Godly Sovereign, and there's a couple of things to talk about. We have some Sony news, some Blizzard news, and Ghostwire Tokyo. So let's get into it.
I lucky me.
Welcome back to another episode of the We Love Gaming podcast. I think this is episode 86 or something like that. I lost count on it. Thank you guys for tuning into the channel. Like I said before, my name is Godly Sovereign, and of course, I have my handsome co-host, Sir Knight. What's good, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Chilling. There's lots of cool news this week, man. Pretty excited to get into this episode.
Yeah, some interesting stuff, man. Some things just kind of like popping off, and it seems mighty convenient that it would be like happening right now, right after the Microsoft news. It's like, oh, okay, all right. It's like, hey, we had this in the tuck, but we got to fire on you.
We gotta force this through. What do you want? Say, what do we need to do? We'll sign.
Man, we just need you to hit the button, man.
Sign the dotted line, please.
But yeah. So before we get into any other newest gaming news, man, what you been playing this week?
Dude, man, really all I've played this week is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Yeah, that's really all I've played this week. I probably put like 10 hours, probably 10 hours or so, 8 to 10 hours into it. It's a little love-hate. When I first started playing it, I was extremely frustrated with it, dude.
Why?
Like, I thought it was boring. I thought it was so damn wordy. Like, a lot of reading and word through it, man. Like, I was really, like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, okay, I'll talk about this with you because that's all I've been playing, too, is Pokemon Arceus. I didn't get a chance to play anything else, but yeah, I agree with you on that one. I feel like at this point in the game, Game Freak needs to quit bullshitting and get some voiceovers out this bitch, man. Like the amount of words for like every little side quest, the main mission, and all of that stuff is ridiculous. I'm at the point now where I'm just speed buttoning through it all.
Me too,
I don't
man.
even remember the story. I'm
trying. I try to skim it, but like I'm half falling asleep.
Yeah.
Like my lids are getting heavy. And at the very beginning, dude, it was a lot in the beginning. It's like, when are you gonna let me play? Let me play already.
You know, because I told you guys that I got that shit like as a code, right? So I downloaded it. So I already had it on there. So I was playing it at 9.
Yeah. But you played it at 9.
I had work, man. I'm tired of shit. Like, I started falling asleep, like, you know, mid-play. And I was like, bro, I can't even play this much. Like, I got to go to sleep, man, because I'm too tired. And yeah, it's all of that meticulous reading. And you got to keep reading. And then sometimes you got to, I don't know if you've had this issue, but sometimes you got to, like, pay extra attention to the side quest that you just accepted or whatever. Because you got to see what it's telling you to do. Because somebody might have told you, oh, they want you to go and capture a Ponyta. But you didn't see that the quest tells you to go back to the person that assigned the side quest mission so that you can talk to them more about what they want. So you go out looking for a Ponyta. Okay, I got it. But nah, he got like some extra info that he wanted to share with your ass so you can read that for 2 minutes before you go out on your quest and stuff like that. And
dude, I don't like the side quests. They're so dumb. They're just like, go out there and like catch this or attack that. And then like they're not very rewarding. I don't even do them. I completely ignore them, dude.
You said they're not rewarding?
Nah, I don't think they're very rewarding in the sense of like, I want experience and stuff. So like, I'd much rather go out there and like earn the rankings and stuff because I want to keep rising in rankings to collect more Pokemon.
Oh,
go
to
the next zone. Yeah, the stars. So it's like, I'm not interested really in getting revives or getting potions or I don't know. I'm just not, it's not like enticing enough for me to do all these little side things. I just kind of ignore them. So I was like playing and I was like really getting tired, like literally like physically tired from all this stinking dialogue that you have to read. And it's, of course, it's like middle school level writing. I don't know what's going on over there, man, with who makes Pokemon?
Game Freak.
Game Freak, like I know it like they're trying to tailor it towards kids, but dude, come on, man. Like the quality is so low, the storyline is so pathetically simplistic, and like no one cares. You just pass through it all. Like I don't know. It's like they have like the smallest budget on the planet for like the most successful game on Earth, and it's like you just spend a little money, man. Give us something awesome. But anyways, like they finally unleash you, and I was getting also a little annoyed, man. This is all at beginning. This is all the beginning, all my beginning experience, right? So I was getting a little annoyed by the Pokedex. It's so much. Like I got to catch this Pokemon 86 times. I got to battle at 40. I got to use this ability 16 times. It's like, what the freak? This is retarded. Like I'm never going to do that. This is lame. I just want to battle and catch Pokemon. And so I was like, there's no way, man. This is like scratching my eyeballs out grinding. This is so ridiculous. This isn't fun. And then like I put it down. I shut it off. And I was like, I don't know if I can play this game anymore, man. This is like my first couple hours, okay? And then I came back the next day and I was like, no, I have to play more. We have to talk about this on the pod. I have to give this more of a chance. So I hopped back in and I was like, you know what? I am just going to ignore the Pokedex. Because what it looked like to me was like killing things and catching things. So I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. All I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the Pokedex. I'm not even going to open it. I'm not going to consult it. I'm not going to follow it. I'm just going to run around in a circle in the zone around the edge and attack or catch everything that I see. Just attack or catch literally everything I see. Throw a Pokemon at every tree, throw a Pokemon at every rock, throw a Pokemon, and just kind of like meticulously work through the zone. And then I was having fun. I was like, this is actually quite a bit of fun. I'm actually really enjoying this. I'm learning the streamlined controls they added. I think are way better than like Pokemon Sword and Shield or like the traditional Pokemon, where I like that I can just like throw my own Pokeball out and immediately, it activates, start the battle. Like
I like that you can run around while the battle is going on. And
kind of adjust your view. Yeah,
and I don't know about you, but have your Pokemon been wiped out completely? And you had to like get out of there?
No.
Oh, okay. No. Well, I've come across some shit I should have battled with, and like
I haven't battled an alpha not once. I mean, I did battle one alpha, and I was like, "Damn, he's level 42," and I ran. I just ran away. I didn't fight it. I didn't try because I knew I couldn't beat it.
I tried going against like one alpha, and then I went into a spatial zone or whatever.
Oh yeah, I haven't gotten to a spatial rift either, a time rift or whatever.
You got to be ready.
That sounds like endgame. I think that's all endgame content, from my understanding.
It ain't introduced to endgame.
No, it ain't. But I think it's all endgame content. Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried doing some stuff like that, man, but. And I've come across certain things that I just wasn't having the best of luck. I was just, I didn't grind enough on my Pokemon in other areas. So I'm just kind of getting smashed on in this area. So it got to the point where when I knew I was down to like one Pokemon, I would throw him out there knowing he's not going to do the job. And then I would move my guy away from the situation so that when he gets dropped, when the last Pokemon goes, which is really nice, you don't just black out all dumb as shit. You know what I mean? So it's like it says you have no Pokemon left. Run. And so you just gotta like go. You have to you have to leave the area.
That's crazy. So I've never experienced that.
Yeah, like if you stay around, the Pokemon attack you. And so you have like maybe 1 or 2, maybe max of 3 hits, and then you'll black out. And then you'll end up.
I've been killed by blacking out like that by like an alpha
like
chasing me.
You never threw your Pokeball or whatever. You just got knocked out by the hits.
Yeah, because I already know that I'm not going to beat the alpha. Like I already know it, so I'm just trying to get away. To get away. Like there's no point in wasting my time in a battle I can't win. So I'm just like trying to run, dude. And sometimes it gets thick and heavy. Like there's quite a bit of Pokemon around, and a lot of them are aggressive.
Like
man. all of them attack you, and it's like,
it's like I gotta get out of here. Did I call something? Like, did I blow the horn for the Pokemon to come in or whatever? They fresh meat,
But I was also thinking, man, like, So it was hyper wordy in the beginning, but I was hoping like once they unleashed you, like it would stop, but it's still wordy. Like it's still bad.
It's
I'm like
terrible.
you,
How
man, where
much?
I'm really close, where I'm just basically plowing through, just kind of getting the gist of what they're saying
Right,
and
right.
just
I'm
forget
getting the
it because
idea.
I'm
I'm
so
getting
bored.
basically what's coming up next or what's happening by looking at the small phrase or whatever that tells me what I'm on my mission to do. Like, oh, go to here to do something or whatever. Then I'll go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta go and quell this, this beast or whatever. And it's like it's starting to get annoying. But like they've been doing this for almost like 20 years, bro. Like, how do they not
I
take the
know.
time to just get some voice actors to
Dude,
do
and not
this?
just that, buddy. Dude, like they are like the most profitable game probably almost ever made, and they
The
can't
most
afford to
profitable
throw
franchise
throw a
ever.
little throw a little money at this
Give a little
game.
money so we
Give
can
us
listen to
something.
the people.
Give us something cool, man. Like I just don't get it. And
It's so
I know the
crazy.
problem is like we're all gonna buy it anyways. So like they're
Yeah.
like, why spend money? So they give them like a bare bones budget.
Yeah,
Because
they
it's
make it
like,
as
dude,
cheap
this
as
is
possible so
yeah, they
that they
make
can
it the
make
game
as much profit.
as cheap as possible, man.
But
And it's
it's
like,
so
come on.
it's just too crazy, man. Like if I want my kids to play this game, they can understand the concept of like, oh, I press this button to get a
Oh,
Pokeball. I
but they
press
can't
this button
read. Yeah,
to,
exactly.
but they can't read the story. So if
Yeah.
they gotta need me to read the story. Like I'm not trying to hold your hand while you sit there and play the game. I want to play the game.
Yeah,
So if
exactly.
you can't read it, then just don't play it. It's not even worth it. Like,
Right.
because you won't absorb the story the same way. But it's like, dude, if you just made the videos, man, that would just be so much more helpful. Like,
I agree. A whole bunch. That was one of my complaints.
gosh,
So
man.
and also I like it, but it does feel still this game feels
It's lacking something.
like a beta. Like it's kind of like it's not fully baked. It's like half baked in the sense of like it's more like a concept, like proof of concept. And I think like they do prove the concept really well. But it's just because the Pokemon are lifeless, they kind of just move around and then they like attack. There isn't the world is very bland. There isn't a whole lot to do, even though it's fun catching Pokemon in battle. There's not like a whole lot to do. It's very kind of repetitive. So it feels like half baked, but like what they have here is a great direction. And like it makes me extremely excited to see if they go back to like the more traditional route, but incorporate this open world like Breath of the Wild aspect to it, because I really do enjoy like moving through a zone. And like I was saying, I was doing like the systematically, just cursing the ridge and kind of like, and like, dude, I'm gonna keep going and like coming across a new Pokemon you haven't seen, super fun.
Throw
And it's
that
like,
shit.
dude, that is so much fun, and I love it. How I don't have to battle. We talked about this before. I don't gotta battle it to catch it. I can just throw my paw and like you
And
could
see
sneak
how it
up
goes.
on it, and like they reward you with massive XP for like catching things too. So you're not discouraged from catching. I was really worried about that. Like, only way I'm gonna get experience because
Downside.
because in the Pokemon base game, they don't give you like as much experience when you catch a Pokemon. Like it's like, if I remember right, it's only if you kill it do your Pokemon's like grow in experience, or it's like is
No,
it
no. As long as you battle it and you defeat it by either
okay? As long
catching
as you
it
right.
or
So that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. But you had to battle, and so
right,
what I
right.
was worried about was like if me just throwing my ball out and catching it, I'm not going to get no experience because my Pokemon didn't do anything. But they do. They still give you like massive experience. So
Yeah.
I love how like everything
They
you
give
do
you
is rewarding.
experience for throwing your Pokemon at the
Yeah,
trees and getting the
yeah,
berries and the apricots and shit,
yeah.
and
So
then
like, but
throwing at
only
the
only
rocks and getting stones. Yeah.
but only the Pokemon you throw gets experience, not the whole crew.
Right, right,
So you
right.
gotta kind of like rotate your Pokemon and use them. But like, I do like how everything you do is rewarding. Yeah. So you throw it at rocks, you get
Buddha.
experience. You throw it at, everything you do, you get rewarded. So I really like that aspect.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
I like how you can like swap back and forth between your Pokemon and your Pokeballs, like
Mhm.
in the moment and in the battle.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of really good quality of life things that they did in this game that they need to use in all future Pokemon games.
Yeah, yeah. It's got to be like this
It's
from
got to
the
be.
get-go.
I'm spoiled now. Yeah,
They
I'm
just got to
spoiled now.
have voices, man. If they just put some fucking voices in the game, it would just make me so happy. Like if I just don't have to read all of the dialogue. and I could just listen to it. Like it would just be so much better. Because that's annoying, dude.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so I've been somewhat enjoying my time with it, but like I will say, it does get a little bit repetitive. Like I get a little burnt out after like an hour or two, so I gotta like put it down.
yeah,
But I will. I always want to go pick it back up again. But it's hard for me to play like long periods of time because I'm kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But I do always like to go back and revisit it, so I do plan on beating that game.
yeah, and no, I haven't had a chance to play Dying Light yet. It's one of those things that I do eventually want to get a chance to play. But I think it's just a little too close to Elden Ring, bro. I don't know if I can buy something else. You know what I mean? When I have this, I might wait. But
I'm actually really excited to play Dying Light 2. I have Arceus right now, and also, like I said, I got a credential test I've been studying for, and so I've been like, I don't have a lot of time right now. But I do really want to play Dying Light 2. And I hear they fixed a lot of the bugs with the day one patch. And so
see, I thought that they were gonna have a day one patch that would just fix all of that crap.
That fixed a lot of it because it was bad, I hear. Like Cyberpunk kind of bad. But people liked it enough. The reviewers liked it enough that they kept playing and enjoyed it and gave it a good score, even despite the fact that it had so many bugs. So that really was encouraging, and I do want to play that game. Part of me is like, is this one of those games that you like wait a year and it's like in the bargain bin, you know, and like you get like a great, you get like a great deal, right? When it's all been fixed and you pay like $20, $15-20 for it, and you have a great time.
Trap, you played it already?
You know?
Because he said it was bad.
The bugs were bad, or what was bad?
I think he's talking about the bugs.
Yeah, I heard the bugs were pretty bad, like following the world all the time, like weird stuff. So that kind of hurt its Metacritic score. I think it probably would have scored a lot better had it had a little better, which is interesting because technically the game's not out yet. So they kind of are like allowed to do a day one patch. The game hasn't out yet. But the problem is all the review copies are early. And so they kind of like screw themselves by waiting for like a day one patch when that's technically the right thing to do. But when you're trying to get reviews out, you kind of hurt yourself. And so you're like, your review score hurts.
But what I like about it is that they gave people like different versions. You know, I saw somebody talking about it and they had a PS5 version. It wasn't like it was PC only. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting, you know, what you're getting, you know, they've tried what we would be playing. You know what I'm saying? So if you're tossing out nothing but PC versions, but the rest of the consoles are shit, you know what I mean? It's just not going to work out for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You might get great reviews because your PC version is outstanding, and then your user score is just going to tank because the other stuff is trash.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, Trap. Once I heard the bugs, it really discouraged me from wanting to get it. But I heard a lot was fixed.
That's what I'm hoping, Trap. I'm hoping that it's on Game Pass, bro. Like, I literally want to wait for about 2 to 3 weeks for Microsoft to come out.
No way.
I don't know, man. They've been craftier, dude. There's been a lot of games that
if Dying Light doesn't sell, then I could see that happening. But and this Bug City situation might hurt their sales, and then you might see it on Game Pass. But if it wasn't bad, then who knows?
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what I've been playing, man. Arceus.
Yeah, man. I've definitely been playing it a lot, and I said fuck the Pokédex a long time ago, bro. I've been just running around.
I told you in my first hour I said that.
Yeah.
So it was a long time ago for me too.
Yeah, and I
don't know if it was in your first hour you did it.
Yeah, it was off rip, man, because I'm like, I can't keep track of this stuff. Like, I'm just
this is retarded.
But I was like, at that point, I was like, oh, I'm gonna just catch like whatever I can for the most part, or try to battle when I can, because you know I'm trying to go to these other areas and my Pokemon is not quite there. Like, I'm going through my whole roster to beat something, you know, to be able to progress forward. So I'm like, okay, I need to stick around and battle some more. And I was always throwing my Pokemon at the trees and the rocks and stuff to collect that shit. And then obviously every chance I get to try to capture a new Pokemon, I'm throwing that ball or trying to figure out, you know, if I can attack it or whatnot. But I think it's kind of like a couple of alphas and been able to kill them.
I think it's so weird in the Pokedex that they have you catch the same Pokemon like 4 or 5 times or multiple times. Like that's really strange to me. I understand like having them use an ability or
Seeing their
battling
ability
them,
to use and stuff
yeah,
like
or
that.
watching them in combat. There's lots to learn there, but just to catch them, like I'm not understanding necessarily like once you have it caught, you learn a lot about it. I would think once you actually have it in your possession. So why you need to
Yeah.
keep catching like multiples. Also, I don't know if you know this, but releasing your Pokemon gives you some grit, grit dust and grit rocks and stuff to boost your Pokemon's abilities.
Oh no, I didn't know that, dude. I'm about to
Yeah.
release all the extra bitches in there.
So all the extra ones, man, you got to go in there and release, and then use that grit dust to boost your dudes.
So I've been getting grit dust on occasions for hitting the rocks or sometimes fighting some of
Yeah.
the Pokemon or whatever they drop it or
Mhm.
whatever. But I was basically just like if I saw a new Pokemon, I would collect like maybe 2 of them, one for me and then one for the douchebag that's probably gonna ask for one of my Pokemon instead of just seeing it. You want me to give up one. So I could just like, not worry about having to go back out there to grab one because I don't want to give up the one that I got. I just try to capture like 2 or 3 of them so that I have it. There's like one mission for a Blyzel or whatever that thing is called that I got to get a bigger one. And I'm like, okay, well, damn. I don't know if they want an alpha, but I'm sure shit not giving them my alpha. Like, they can kiss that shit goodbye. That bitch.
Yeah, I haven't even fought an alpha, man, except the one they forced you to, that cricket or whatever. So I haven't even fought one to catch one.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
MLB show back on the Game Pass, huh? Okay. I didn't even realize it was off. I hadn't really focused too much on MLB.
Well, he's saying 22, the new one coming out.
Ooh.
The newest one's going to launch day 1 on Game Pass, so MLB The Show 22.
But we
Pretty
already
crazy.
know that Game Pass is solid for like all of the sports games and stuff like that. I'm just waiting for NBA 2K22 to be on Game Pass, unless it already is. But yeah, but yeah, man. So I mean, that's all we've been playing this week, as Pokemon Arceus. So maybe we'll have something else for you, mate. Hopefully, maybe we'll find out on Tuesday that Game Pass has Dying Light 2. And that right away.
Dude.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and get on the first topic, man. And what we got is some World of Warcraft news. It looks like they've decided to finally bridge the gap that's been everlasting to keep the Horde from talking to the Alliance. And now they're going to allow you to group up, take on some raids, and chit-chat with your best pal on the other side. And, I thought that it's interesting that they would do this now. I guess it seems like it looks like they're trying to do like some big kind of cataclysmic change in the game that would require you to need to team up with the other side, the enemies, the op. So, it's kind of cool that they have that now, because I remember every time I used to try to talk to one of the enemies and say some slick shit to him, it used to come out as garble. So,
well, I don't know necessarily like if it's going to be like that. Like if you're in the world and you come across a horror character, if you can just like talk normal, or if this is just, I think this is just like grouping up. You can communicate. I still think they're like enemies, right? In that sense, but this is interesting in a lot of ways because they lost 3 million subscribers last year. And I heard they lost 2 million in the last quarter of the year last year.
But that was all probably over that bullshit, right?
Right, the last quarter.
Yeah.
It was
all of those.
From what I understand, it was like 21,000 subs a day they were losing the last quarter.
It was boycotting the shit out of World of Warcraft.
Dude, it was getting hammered hard. But I think a change like this will bring a lot of people back, because there's been lots of instances, man. Like when I thought about playing.
What's up, Becky?
And I'll ask like, hey, what's going on, Becky? I'll ask like Mark, like, hey, you playing WoW right now? And he'll be like, yeah, I'm playing WoW right now. And he'll be like, I'll be like, what faction are you? He'll be like, Horde. And I'll be like,
damn, yeah.
I don't play Horde. Like, it sucks. Like, I don't want to start a whole new tune-up, to play all the way and like to play with you on your server. Right. See, now you can just like play. And so that's really cool. But it's just interesting because World of Warcraft has always been built upon this notion of the, humans versus orc, Horde versus Alliance. And to like be playing with them now is like the antithesis of what the game is, which is an interesting decision.
They've
But
always been the op. You've never been.
they've always, yeah. So that's a weird, interesting idea that I don't know if I necessarily like it in that sense. But as far as like playing with your friends, this is a huge boost, because
Yeah, I
you and I
remember I
now,
used to have to get up with you. Like I wanted to play Horde, but it's like, oh, I got Alliance characters, and it's like, damn,
yeah,
okay, well, I guess I gotta be an
yeah.
Alliance then, because there's no other way to play with you, you know.
It's
So
almost like, yeah, exactly. It's almost like now you can be aesthetically whatever you want to be. It's more like a cosmetic choice now than like playing with your
right,
friend's choice, where it's always been
right.
like playing with your friend's choice largely. And also another thing I heard, dude, was that I wanted to ask Mark about this, but basically it sounded to me like almost nobody that plays WoW seriously
Mm.
plays on the Alliance. So if
Oh,
you want to
really?
raid, if you want to do like mythic
They're all Horde.
classes, you can only do one on Horde. No one wants to do it on Alliance. And so
Mm.
supposedly the game is being destroyed in the sense of like only one faction was playable. And a
Oh,
lot of people wanted to play Alliance, but there was no point in playing it because there was really no great end game for the people that
mm.
wanted to play Alliance. And so them doing this, I think what Mark said makes a lot of sense. You're going to see a lot of people
Nice and
pay for a faction transfer, and they're going to get like a boost in cash because people are going to pay to change to Alliance because they want to play Alliance. A lot of people want to play Alliance. I prefer Alliance. I prefer, for one, I mainly prefer because I know the world better. Like I know all the Alliance capital cities and all the places better, and so
Right.
I'm just more comfortable because that's what I started with when I first started playing the game.
Yeah.
That I always want to choose Alliance, but it's hard because everyone plays Horde. So if you want to do any type of end game, you got to play Horde, and so this is a good change in a lot of ways for the way the game has turned into so much of a grind and how it's so one factionized.
Yeah, for sure. So,
So,
how do you feel about these World of Warcraft mobile games?
well, one of two directions. Like if it's just like a spin-off of like the World of Warcraft game where it's like, you can like, so in some of those games where like you can like you have like a crew and you select like a certain number of like crew members and like you send them off on a mission, and after like an hour, it's just like a timer thing. You just like send crews and then they come back and they provide you with like some items, and then like, you can send them off to another mission.
So like an idle game.
Kind of like an idle game. They have a lot of that in the World of Warcraft now, where like you can kind of like you go to like your outpost or your own personal little base. Everyone has like their own personal little home, and you can send out like crew members that you have on a mission board off to like a place, and then you just go play. Yeah, then you go play for like an hour or two, and you come back, and the mission's over, and you get a reward. So if it's like letting you do that on your phone, or like maybe letting you do pet battles on your phone, and that's the World of Warcraft aspect, that's not exciting at all. But if they do what you mentioned before, try to find some way to make it like a controller-based game, where like it's a whole standalone World of Warcraft game, where it's its own game, that's exciting to me. That's kind of exciting to me because Blizzard makes good games.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
that's where I'm at on it.
Just having like to be able to play, something that's, at that caliber or whatever, anywhere, it would be crazy. You know what I mean? That's like getting World of Warcraft on your what's that fucking game system called? The newest one that hasn't released yet.
Steam Deck?
Yeah, there you go. Getting World of Warcraft on your Steam Deck so you can play that, you know what I mean, to go. Like that would be pretty ill.
Yeah, and I just hope they have an iPad variant.
Yeah. So
you can play on that M1 and have like a real gaming experience playing World of Warcraft. That's exciting to me. Like a little more low key, fewer buttons. World of Warcraft, like that's what I'm looking at right now, where I'm at in life. You know what I mean? Like I can't play the hardcore WoW right now, but a little low key, dumbed down, light World of Warcraft light on the iPad, like that sounds really cool, man.
Yeah, man, that would be pretty sick. So
this actually was kind of exciting to me.
Yeah, and I guess they've been in the works with this.
Oh, and it's this year too. It comes this year. We're gonna see it this year.
Yeah.
So this is it's been in the works for years, right?
Works for quite a few years now or whatever. So
and I'll say, I kind of say what you said earlier. Like all this seems to be very coincidental. We have the Survivor game announced. We have WoW is coming to Mobile. We have WoW faction. All these announcements all seem to happen right after Microsoft
Yeah,
is
man.
like buying them because they have to build that brand back up.
Yeah, and then it's like at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, let's just keep them talking. You know what I mean? We got something else in the tuck. Let's just keep unloading. You know what I mean? Until the next thing. So
Yeah,
I'm
for sure,
interested to
man.
see exactly like what will come from all of this. Like what actually will happen. So,
Definitely
but
excited.
yeah. So let's move on to the next topic, man. And Ghostwire Tokyo had like some kind of like a
Showcase.
huge like
Yeah.
showcase that just gave you like everything. They gave you a little trailer, but then they had like a lot of in-depth talking. They gave us like some in-depth gameplay, and I gotta tell you, man, I thought that they were using the shit out of like the particle capabilities of the PS5 with this. Like, there's just things all around the screen floating around and stuff, and it looks pretty cool. It looks like the abilities and stuff like that will look really pleasing to the eyes on how it is. Um, I'm not really sure exactly on how like all of the gameplay will go. If it'll be pretty fun or if it'll be a hassle. But
Yeah,
I kind
I
of
agree.
like the graphics and how the character looked and how the world looks. The enemies are kind of weird, but they're also supposed to be kind of like apparitions or something like that. So you're almost like a monk ghostbuster of sorts or whatever. And that has me excited a little bit to see that you can use arrows. So you might have some other weapons like sword or something like that you can use as well. But I mean, how do you feel about watching this piece?
Um, I a couple things like for me, like Tokyo, I feel like it loses a lot of its character and what makes it interesting without people living in it and like without a world, a living, breathing in world. It's like it's just like empty. I feel like it loses a little bit of its excitement. Like I feel like I want to be playing it like Persona, where there's people and there's like relationships and connections and stuff in the city. It's like it's a the life of the city is like because it's so many people and like I feel like a little bit of that is lost in translation here for it being in Tokyo. But also, it felt like a VR game. Like this felt like it was made to be a VR game in a lot of ways. I don't know if it's because the hands are so stinking prominent and like every little movement, it's like that feels like a motion control, like you're kind of using your hands. Like
But
it
you
just
ain't gonna be able to do all of that bending and stuff.
no, but I'm just saying it's like it almost felt like this was a VR game that they've made into being a standalone. Like, or maybe like originally the idea was for VR and like
Yeah,
they transitioned it.
that's what I was saying the first time when we even saw this and heard about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? The view and everything, it just looked like, oh, this should be played on VR. This would be like the perfect game that you would have that was just a regular PS5 game, but they had the controls to be able to play VR. So
I
you
agree,
could play either
100%.
way. It would be the
This is what I'm
perfect
talking
version
about.
to allow for VR to become like even more useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this would feel like, oh, this is an accessory now. Where like I'm enhancing my PS5 gaming experience
Right. You get to be
because I
in
can
the
choose
world.
to play it as VR. Like that's really dope. But it doesn't. I think this is just a standalone. I don't think this is VR, but it looks so VR like. And also, I don't know about you, but were you watching the showcase? You watched the showcase all whatever
I
the
watched
showcase.
I watched like the first part of it. I didn't catch like when the developers started talking about it.
Didn't the enemies seem like a little bit kind of like not doing much? Like they were just kind of standing around waiting to be diced up.
Yeah, I mean, you were seeing that the dude was getting attacked by like one of them or whatever, but it seemed like there was a lot of pissant ones in there that was just there for fodder, to keep you busy, like like oh take them out because they just shit, like you know what I mean? Just,
Like they're just there like target practice. You're just like shredded. It's like this is kind of strange. I hope there's a little bit more. I hope there's
yeah,
a little bit more like enemy type and variety that feels interesting and exciting to fight against.
for sure.
Because it was like bullet sponges, just a bunch of sponges everywhere that
Yeah,
you're just like to pop in.
but they had introduced the powers kind of nicely, man, when they had that little group of the dudes that were standing there congregating amongst each other, and then he just started
Yeah.
like what was that one ability, Nexus? in Deathloop, where you could like link them all together.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
you
he
just do
it's
one
like he
thing,
froze them. It's like he
Yeah,
froze them, and then in that time he was like targeting them all,
yeah, picking them
and then
all
like
off.
he
And
linked
then,
them all with that thread,
yeah,
and
and
then
he did
like he
like
shredded them.
that super
Yeah,
thing where he pulled his hands back and then snapped them or whatever. So but yeah, it looked
yeah,
like it looked like they tried to use like the bright colors and everything that would make like magic look cool or whatever on the PS5 to be able to like to showcase that. Like they're
yeah.
like,
It's
oh, we got to put
definitely
all these colors.
yeah. The particles and the lighting looks really cool. I do think
Yeah,
the world looks a little bit last gen, but I mean like that's okay because I think
hmm
this is a PS5 exclusive, I believe. So it
yeah,
just doesn't
yeah.
quite look like a PS5. I don't know, like next gen game,
I thought
like
the characters
Ratchet.
did though. I thought the
Like
characters looked
Ratchet
pretty
did.
good.
But like if you look at the world, it's just a little bit like last gen to me, like a little bit
Mhm.
PS4ish to me. But I will
Yeah,
say you're right about the particle effects, like that maybe that's pushing the technology or the hardware a little bit.
yeah.
But
Maybe that's why they had to downgrade the rest of the world because it was
yeah,
just
because everything looks a little bit like looking around the world, like it is very pretty plain.
yeah.
But the particles are really cool, and I hope it is pretty fluid action packed because sometimes it looks like it's taking a while between attacks. Like he's doing quite a bit with his hands before like he does
Yeah,
something. And I hope that doesn't like interrupt. You kind of mentioned it, like interrupt the fun that you're having to
Mhm.
like do all this stuff with your hand before you finally like throw it. It's like, come on, man, throw it already. Throw that fireball
Yeah,
already.
he's throwing hearts and all
Yeah,
that stuff. He's throwing a West Side and everything to get
yeah,
something
he's
out
doing the
there.
best.
So it just looked
Yeah,
crazy.
dude,
But
for sure.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely active. So I guess we'll see, exactly like, how active it is. Um, this isn't, this hasn't really been like a day one type of thing for me, but
Hmm.
it has been something like, oh, if I come across it for like a good deal, I might pick it up, but
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, bro. Like
yeah.
this doesn't scream day one to me. It really doesn't. It seems fairly generic, although it is pretty and bright, and then the action looks pretty interesting. But
Yeah.
what you're doing is not that different than what we've done 100 times. It's not like Elden Ring, right? This isn't like something special that makes me like mad excited for it. But I do agree. Like I do think it's something that I do want to play and
Yeah,
beat
that
at like
cat
some point
definitely
in
looked
time.
last gen.
Yeah, like this looks a little bit last gen to me,
I
and like
should
even
be
the
able
look
to
at the
see all of
ground,
the
dude.
bird
Like
textures.
look at the ground; it's just like a texture model.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
like there's no work put into any of like
They just
the
showcasing
world.
all the fucking animals you can pet.
I think because in this world there's no humans, so I think the only like
There's
living things
animals
that
left?
aren't like apparitions are animals.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no
So it's
humans
got that
left,
little
dude. It's called
fluffy cat.
the vanishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like look at the guy just walking forward. Okay, let me
Yeah. They just
slice
got
you.
umbrellas. Yeah. Let me
Let
take
me
you out.
slice you up. Let's okay. You wait up. Slow down. Let me charge this bolt up. Okay, now you're dead. It's like
Yeah.
what the
Yeah,
like
oh, you're
where's
going
the
on your lunch
combat?
break, are you? Yeah. Not
Yeah, it's
today.
like where's the combat at? Okay, here's a little bit of bullet hell here, but it's
Right.
like it just seems very like low key, very low key, um, combat.
Yeah,
But
I'm definitely interested to see like if there's actually enemies with like sentient, like
mm,
if there's something, that's like talking back to you and telling you it's going to destroy you or take you out or whatever, like there's some
hmm
big coup d'etat enemy and not just a bunch of ghosts everywhere, like
right.
that would be, cool if there's
Like
like
I don't know, like Neo just seems funner to me than this. Like
Neo's also a different game that's Souls
yeah,
like.
but it's similar, like with the whole like kind of apparition thing. You're kind of fighting like
You're
demons
fighting
and
yokai,
ghosts.
so, but
Yeah,
yeah.
which is kind
Yeah.
of like a similar thing to this, but the action is like it's like instantaneous fun. Like this
Mhm.
has that delay, that little delay gratification as you wait for your attacks to hit and
Yeah,
land.
because you're Doctor Strange in it out there, so you gotta
Yeah,
like
so I'm
gotta
just
sum it
curious.
up.
Yeah, I'm curious how that dynamic will play out because when I see Neo, I immediately want to play it. It looks fun, right? Where this is like, well, that's pretty and flashy, but is it fun to actually do with the controller? We'll see.
Right.
So
So yeah, I mean, this is definitely one. It's a PlayStation exclusive, so it's definitely one to keep an
mhm.
eye out for because exclusives, do pretty good. But we'll have to see. This might be one of those like timed exclusives. Like it might
It
be on
is. I think it's 1
Xbox.
year. I think it's 1 year. This will be on Game Pass in a year.
yeah, Game
Just
Pass
like
day one
Death
Game
Loop.
Pass as soon as it gets multi-plat.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so
Totally,
this
man.
might be one of those that I end up waiting on Game Pass to play. Um,
Right.
depending on when it pops out. I haven't really been putting it on my radar or anything like that because I haven't seen anything that's like, oh, all right, now that's different. Let me check that.
Right.
So, but yeah,
Exactly.
we'll have to see. But let's go ahead and move on to the last ish
Ooh.
topic of the day.
Ooh.
Sony
Ooh.
acquires Bungie for $3.6 billion. And this comes like literally a week after the acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft. So that's why, it's just kind of a little funny. It's like, all right, well, you guys like, I understand that these are like talks that you guys have had, out, you have 6 months, 8 months, whatever, a year of talking, but like, did you guys already pull this trigger and you're just letting them know now? Or is it like, hey, the time is up on this, we got to make this move. So I'm off you 3.6, you know what I mean? No counters, just accept the shit, but
Yeah, definitely. This feels like, okay, we're going to give you all you wanted. We're going to give you what the price you're asking. We're going to let you stay independent so you can develop all the games you want the way you want to develop them. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to agree to everything because we just need this now. That's what it feels like. Because it's really weird because there literally is nothing different. Supposedly, from all I'm reading, there's nothing different occurring here. Bungie is going to be like basically independent. So all it felt like when we first heard this was Sony just buying something for a revenue source, kind of like what they did with Crunchyroll. Like there just was no benefit or anything to the gamer or the consumer. This was just them buying it to give us an announcement, but there's no like excitement here. We will learn a little bit more coming on the show, but what I wanted to ask you is, like, what was your first thought or like your first impression about this purchase when you heard it? What did you think or feel?
At first, I was kind of like, well, I mean, Bungie's a good studio, but they don't really have a lot going for them. You're getting like one game, maybe like 2 games or something like that. Like, what's the purpose of purchasing this company? You know what I mean? That you would spend so much on it and not, go for something else or whatever. I mean, if there's, I'm sure there's other ones that they've been looking at, but like, what's the reason why you chose Bungie? And I was thinking like, okay, maybe there's like some game that they had that they pitched them that they were like, okay, yeah, that's going to be big. Like, we want a piece of that. We want you guys to be part of the family or something. Or maybe they were trying to do something else. I don't know. But it's just like the only thing I can think that Bungie has done as of recently is just Destiny. You know what I mean? And it's a great game, but it's been out for like a long time, and they keep trying to make their money off of it by adding these little expansions and shit. But is that really worth like the 3.6 billion that you guys paid them? You know what I mean? But
yeah, so like my first thought, man, it's funny enough, it's kind of like was almost like from a strictly consumer perspective. Like whenever it's funny because we haven't really heard a Sony acquisition in a long time. Like the last one we heard, I think, was Blue Point, and it's not like that exciting.
That was last year, right? Like,
yeah, that was last year. I think we heard Blue Point was purchased, and we're like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But when Microsoft announces an acquisition, I get all giddy and excited because I know that every single game that is coming to Game Pass. Yeah. So it's like very, very consumer excitement, right? Like as a consumer, I get legitimately excited because it's like, oh, dude, Bethesda, that's so cool. I know now every single game they release is going to be day one Game Pass, and that gets like me very excited. It's like sweet, it's like a score. It's like we score. When Microsoft scores, we score.
Yeah.
But when Sony buys, but when Sony buys a developer like Bungie here, my first thought was like, well, what does that do? I still have to buy the game. I still have to invest in the expansions. I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything from this. This is nothing for me. This is just like for Sony. What does this do for me? And that's really how I felt like when I initially saw this, because like you said, I've played Destiny. I put like hundreds of hours into it. I'm not trying to go back and play it again. This is not exciting for me. Yeah. What do we get here? And so that's kind of like how I felt
Yeah, and I
about it.
mean Destiny being on Game Pass for the limited amount of time that it was, you know what I mean? That was cool because it was like, okay, I get to try out like, a new expansion or whatever for free. And I
Hmm.
had character migration. So I literally don't have to like rework everything from ground zero because I only played it on the PlayStation. So that was cool and whatnot. But
Hmm. Totally.
yeah, you're right. It's like because it's not they don't have any free service where they're giving everything out. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess, the only thing that I'm gonna really care about is the games that they produce from now on that are gonna be like, PlayStation exclusives or something like that. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
But
such a trip, bro, because it's so weird. It's like the strangest thing. Like imagine Sony came out tomorrow and they announced they're gonna buy like Capcom, right? And you're like, oh cool, all the Resident Evils, all these games they own now. But it's not exciting because it doesn't change anything for us as the consumer. All it does is make Sony more money. It
yeah,
doesn't do anything for me. So all it does is fuel the console war. All it does, the only thing you might get out of it is like, oh, cool, my team was winning. My team got something more. But it doesn't actually do anything more for you. But when Microsoft buys something, it does. And it made me think, like, dude, in my opinion, man, I think buying video games is antiquated. Like it's gonna be a thing of the past, man. Buying video games. I think it's gonna be eventually subscription services. There's no such thing as buying a game anymore. Like I'm not excited about Sony buying Capcom or Sony buying Bungie. I'm not excited to buy a game from them. Like, but
yeah.
I am excited to add more to my library. Or when Netflix announces a new series, I know that I get to partake in it immediately. It's not like this. It's
And that
weird.
those will be there forever. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they remove any of the games that they actually
Or first
own.
party. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
those
They don't.
actual first party things, I don't think they ever leave. So it's like you'll always have that option to play that. A Netflix series will always be there for you to check out. It's not like, oh, you got like a limited time or whatever to enjoy it, 6 months or a year or something like that. So,
Yeah, it's
but
like
yeah,
the
I mean, yeah, when you
ultimate. It's like the ultimate win-win, right?
yeah,
Like
it's like, okay, you bought it, and that's cool and all. So I'm looking forward to like the games you guys talk about and stuff. And all I can think about is like the level of quality that PlayStation Studios provides you, and that everything that they should provide us should be held to that same caliber. So they won't be dropping no bullshit anytime soon. I'm hoping. You know what I mean? Because
right,
I have yet to receive just some bullshit from PlayStation in a long time. And
right.
even if it seemed like bullshit to me, it was gold for somebody else. So that's just the way it goes. But yeah. I mean, you're definitely right. I kind of feel like it's like, oh, okay, cool. It's not like as extreme as buying like Activision and Blizzard, um, but and then it also takes some of the. And you'll have to tell me if you agree or not. But it also takes some of the power from it when they're gonna operate the same as they've always done it. If there's like, oh, there's not exclusives, it's all gonna be multi-plat. So okay, so nothing changed it. So this is gonna be available here, there, everywhere.
Yeah, I
So
was
it
totally.
really doesn't make any difference. It's like, oh, okay, you guys picked up something else. Cool.
I agree, man.
Hopefully it
Like
was worth it.
when I saw it, I was like, "You're not gonna give PlayStation buyers anything unique now." Like not even a skin, like nothing, huh? Because Bungie was like so adamant. They were like, no, our experience is going to be the same across all platforms, across all players. It's like,
Something
well
is
then,
gonna be
well then,
exclusive.
what is the point? What is
Yeah.
the point if you're a PlayStation owner to be excited about this? You get nothing additional here. Like it's the weirdest purchase until
Yeah.
we go to our next story. Then we learn a little bit more.
Yeah. And
But
then, it's like, okay, if you think about like Microsoft purchasing Activision and Blizzard, and they're basically not going to change anything that they've been doing. They're supposed to carry business as usual. But it's like, okay, but their game, at least we're assuming that their game should be day one on Game Pass. So that's the difference here, is that you'll get it for free if you have Game Pass.
right,
But other than
you're
that,
gonna get that.
it's business as usual with being on every other console and stuff like
Hmm.
that. that's like the ooh, you know what I mean, of that. It's like, oh shit, like you get COD for free 99 now. You don't have to buy that, so that's always gonna be there. So you no longer should have, just Warzone. You can actually play the newest COD and don't have to pay a damn dime. So the only thing that'll be competing against COD now is Battlefield, and what else there? Halo multiplayer. But
And
now
kind of
Halo
Destiny
multiplayer,
and
yeah, and
Destiny.
kind of Destiny, yeah. But Halo multiplayer is now going to have competition with COD. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering when they are going to bring COD to Game Pass, because they haven't yet. But
No, well,
at
it's
least I
like
don't think.
they don't acquire them until the summer. Officially acquire them to the summer, so you're
Oh,
probably going to
the
see the
paperwork
transition.
ain't dry until the summer. So
Right.
yes,
So
I'm
you'll
thinking
probably
this
see.
summer you'll get that new influx of all the
Right.
Activision shit that's in there. So that's gonna be good.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So exactly. Like when I saw this, my first thought was like, because I saw Bungie say no, all their games they can continue to release on multi-platform. I was like, okay, well then there's going to be some kind of timed exclusive, right? Like you get it a month early on PlayStation. No, you're going to get the same exact experience. I'm like, really? Like what is it here that we as gamers should be excited about? And like
Well, I mean,
$3.6 billion for like an immense like one game. I was like,
yeah,
is Destiny worth that? It's crazy.
but I mean, like throughout Destiny's lifespan, right? They've always had a great rapport with PlayStation, and they've always made deals with them to give them like an exclusive weapon or something like that. Some type of an emblem or something that you get for being a PS Plus guy or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that they'll probably have these, but maybe in an abundance, like a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like 2 or 3 guns instead of just one gun. You know what I mean? Maybe they you can move on to the next one. They announced that that they were gonna have that they have another game in the works that they're coming out with. So maybe there's gonna be some more PlayStation exclusive stuff for that new game. Um, instead. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It sounds like there's not. They seem very adamant that there's nothing, zero, zilch. Everything's going to be equitable across all systems. So I don't know. It's very strange.
But yeah, so I mean, move on to the next page.
Yeah. So
they decided to kind of like, I guess they were asked in an interview about the purchase and what was the reason for purchasing it, and it was basically like they had this grand scheme of things, and we had talked about this like a couple of months ago about the what is it, the Last of Us multiplayer that they were
factions
that
or whatever,
and
yeah,
stuff like that, yeah.
yeah,
And the fact that they're planning on utilizing Bungie's developers and stuff like that to help streamline that and make it much more like quicker to put it out. You know what I mean? Because like, hey, you guys have already perfected this, this live service stuff. So let's go with that. And then to say that they have 10 in total coming out before March 2026. I mean, that's quite a big statement for 4 years, dude.
that's like three. That's like 3+ a year.
Yeah, dude. So, and I'm pretty sure they're not opening up heavy this year. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be, the next couple of years, after that. So, I mean,
yeah. So
they might have like the last year, like 2026 or 2025, might have like 3 or 4
5 games.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like a live service game, like these are games that are expected for consumers to play for a long ass time. And if your system or your console has like multiples of these from your thing, it's like, man, how do you choose? Like, what don't I want to play, to go over here or whatever, Like I feel like it's congested.
I agree, man. I was thinking that same exact thing. My first thought was like 10 live service games. Like, yeah, like they want me to dedicate my life to a live service game like Destiny. Like I remember when I was playing Destiny, that's all I played.
Every day, dude. You
yeah,
play
I wasn't
every day when you get like a moment you going in just to like log in and get the login bonuses or to go and see Zer or something like that. Like, yeah, this shit is not like for like the casual gamer, like a live stream, a live service is like, hey, you got to come back. You know what I mean? To get like the
Yeah,
full benefits of it.
exactly. Like I'm like, there's no way I can play all these. Like
Yeah.
there's just no possible way. And I'm like, and even if I choose to play one, so my thought was like, are they just like taking stabs, man, and like they're hoping one of these becomes Fortnite? Is that their goal here? Like, let's make 10 of them, and if 10% hit, we win. Like, which one of these are going to become successful? Because I don't think Ghost of Tsushima the Ghost little live service multiplayer thing is very popular.
The Legends?
Legends, yeah. I don't think Legends is doing very well, and that's like one of Sony's live services, and I don't think a lot of people are playing that still. It's not Fortnite, that's for sure, you know? So it's like, this is just weird. I feel like they're just they're puking out like a whole bunch of these live service games and hoping one sticks. I don't know which one will. Maybe Factions. I do plan on playing Factions, but yeah, like you can only have so many live service games in your backlog. You know what I mean? Like you can't play.
Yeah, stuff is gonna fall to the wayside, man. I mean, like I remember trying to play like Black Desert Online, and then trying to play like damn, what's that shooter game that we were playing?
Oh, Outriders.
Outriders, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, there's you playing Black Desert Online, and then there's like an update or something like that on Outriders. Okay, well I'll check it out. Well, now you play Outriders for like a couple of weeks or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then you got like things like Extraction and stuff like that, you know, coming out and other stuff, and it's like, okay, like you're not really gonna pay attention to BDO anymore. So like the guild you joined and all of that shit you acquired, like all that shit fell to the wayside, bro. Like
I know, dude. Like live service.
I'm booted out the guild, so you know what I mean.
I'm not happy, man. Like with this direction in gaming.
Yeah.
Like I want more single player experiences that start and finish. I don't want these games that I gotta play for the rest of my life, man. Like,
and then it's gonna be like, okay, don't just like pointlessly add a live service type of aspect into the game.
Oh, they are
not needed.
Oh, they are.
I mean? Because if it's like one of those things that is kind of like and you can play this, you know what I mean? And there's always updates and stuff, but it's not as cool as like the main game. Like it's not going to be as interesting. I think it's going to just die off like really quick, you know? Like I would assume that they're trying to create like Red Dead Online type shit, Grand Theft Auto Online type shit, right? So you have to make a game that just has such an awesome world to be in that you want to be your own character in that world.
I hope, man, but I honestly don't know.
But like you said, you're dedicating to like one thing. I don't see people like going to multiple different, you know, games that you could be on. Like I don't even see people going from like GTA Online to Red Dead Online and then back to GTA Online. You know what I'm saying? Like you're dedicating time because you want your character to look good. You want that penthouse suite. You want them cars, the horse, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you're putting all that time in to get those nice shiny weapons and things like that on that one thing. You're not spreading it amongst all the others because you'll never have anything if you do that.
Yeah, I almost think that the live service game industry is already too crowded. You know, it's like there's a lot of live service games out there already. Like we spend our time with Outriders, but we can't spend art forever. Like there's too many other games we want to play, and there's just no possible way. The live service games are too demanding. The whole point is a grind, because they want you to keep coming back, and so it's like it just instantaneously discourages me. Like when I see, it's a live service game, that's like almost immediately a turnoff to me. Because it's like, I don't want a game that's going to force me to grind, you know, and dedicate my life to it. You know, I don't mind that occasionally, but like 10, that sounds like most of the things you're releasing. I mean, Sony doesn't even launch more than like 4 games a year. Yeah. I mean, so it's like, this is like every game they're going to launch for like the next 4 years are going to be like live service. Like, I don't know, man. That doesn't like really super excite me. But it does shed light onto why they even acquired Bungie. Like now we know why, because they want to get this right. They want to get a live service game to succeed, and Bungie's cool. The best at it.
I don't mind that. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you had an ulterior motive for purchasing this place, and it's like if you sat there and you talked with Bungie and they're like, yeah, we got this game that we're working on, but after that, we're willing to like spread some people out to try to make these services like good. And you know, they're obviously not going to come out together, so they might have like a solid team just like stay behind, work on like a new update or a new IP or something like that, and then have like these other core elements, you know, just go to like each studio and help them set up like their live
Yeah, I
services.
think it's also like a technology share. Like
Mm-hmm.
Sony now owns all the technology they developed for like
Right,
live service implementation,
all the
and
techniques,
yeah,
all
all
the
the
code.
techniques, like they own it all now. And I did hear that Sony is dedicating $1.3 billion in monetary incentives to keep Bungie devs from leaving.
Oh,
So they
nice.
really want to use
Like,
the
please
devs
don't just
there.
like branch off and create a whole
Yeah,
new
yeah,
company. Just stay
exactly.
here with us. We want y'all.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is
dope.
a commitment from Sony. And from what I understand, both Sony and Microsoft aren't done. There's supposed to be more acquisitions. Like I mentioned in our chat, you know, I feel like there's a little Cold War going on here, man. Like a arms race,
Yeah,
like a
just
big
who
one,
can do
like a
the
big
biggest
one.
one.
It's like
And I mean, this arms race has not stopped. Like this was done, you know, back in like what 2020 or something like that when they started doing
with
all of
with
the
Bethesda.
acquisitions and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Bethesda
Like it just
shot
started
started it.
rolling
Yeah,
downhill. Like Sony was picking up shit like left and right, and Microsoft was picking up stuff left and right. And it's just like, damn, like when are they gonna stop? You know? And then things kind of quieted down because they started they pilfered most of the smaller studios, so there wasn't much to pick off. And so now it's like what's left is bigger ones. So that takes a little bit more negotiating. So these
right.
negotiations are taking a little bit more time
Yeah,
now. But you know,
yeah,
they're starting to pull them. I would not be surprised if Ubisoft pop up on somebody roster, man.
dude, that'd be sick. If it, I
Like
want
more than
see
likely it's gonna be on Game Pass, but I mean,
when I hear
man,
about this, like developer acquisition, my mind always goes, please, I'd rather it be Microsoft than Sony.
just because you can get it for free.
Because Game Pass is the legit, man. Game
Yeah,
Pass is like the next generation of our, you know, hobby. Like
yeah.
that's where we're going, man.
But another thing that this has me thinking about though, you know, in this day and age of the metaverse and having like these VR chats and things like that, I could see one of their or several of their services being catered to VR and having people congregate in a world
Oh,
that they've
probably.
created
Yeah, I'm sure
and
one
like
of these live
make it
service games, you're right. One of these live
gotta
service
be
games
gotta
is going to
be,
be
man.
VR. You're
Yeah,
probably
because I
100% right
mean,
on
you
that.
got the new headset and all of that stuff coming out within a year or so, possibly. So I mean, it's like, why wouldn't you have like this, you know, world that you could go in and do a lot of stuff? Maybe it's like, you know, like PlayStation Dreams or something like that. You know, where there's like all these things getting created. You know, people can create things. You know, and you're able to just do VR shit in there. You know,
Right.
like almost like Ready Player One type shit. You know, popping in these worlds, doing
That's the real
all kinds
future,
of
huh?
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be crazy.
Yeah, but
But
you know what you notice is like on Ready Player One and like all these movies that do the video game, it's almost like one dominates them all. Like in
yeah,
Free Guy, like it's like one dominate. It's not like you have
one
10,
team.
20 live service games that are all like flourishing. It's
Yeah,
like
it's one
one
that sets the tone,
dominates.
and they don't fuck with the other ones
Yeah,
because
there isn't
everything is in
room.
this one.
There isn't room, man, for like that many live service games.
Yeah, but I mean, if you having like if you're creating like one virtual hub, you know, kind of like how Ready Player One was, where it had the
Uh-huh.
one hub, but they had the different worlds, and so those are like, you know, part of the services. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a bug monster world. You know, a freaking, you know, beach world or something like that. I don't know. You know what I mean? But like different things that people are able to do. You know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like it's 10 different services, but it's really just one that's, you know, an amalgamation of a bunch of different things. But I feel like they got to be doing something like that. There's like that VR chat thing that they have now that be popping off, and so I feel like they only want to do anything but expound on it, you know. So
Yeah,
guess
for
we'll
sure,
see.
man.
But
For sure, dude.
But yeah, so I mean, it'll be interesting to see the live service games that they come up with, what their plans are moving forward with Bungie, and seeing how they use Bungie's tactics to implement them into these other games and whatnot, and
Hmm.
see how it goes. I mean, I think it's all nothing but beneficial. I mean, Bungie's done solid on all of their stuff. You know what I mean? So
They're really good at making first person shooters, man. So
yeah.
even if they use them to make like another first person shooter great,
Mhm.
that's exciting right there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely gonna be something to look forward to, man. So I can't wait. You know what I mean? I can't wait to hear what other acquisitions these suckers make. What else they buy up. I hope that they don't do too many of the major things, because I feel like a lot of these companies being like sole entities are better for them to be more like consumer friendly and whatnot. I feel like when you start putting them into corners, like Microsoft and PlayStation and stuff like that, they start to become unfriendly to the other side or whatever. There's less
Oh
things added
yeah,
on
for
this side
sure.
than there is
For
this
sure.
side and
Yeah,
whatnot. And
man,
it's
it's a
nice.
war.
It's nice if you can just pick up a game on whatever system. Like, oh, there's a deal on Xbox, I'm gonna pick it up there, or I found it, I got some points on PlayStation, I'm gonna use it on that, or whatever. That, and you're just able to play and enjoy the game. I'm sure that it probably hurt Square Enix's Marvel's Avengers game, that certain things like Spider-Man, it was only on Sony. And so if you don't got Sony, you know what I mean, it's like, oh well, I don't even want to buy it then. You know what I mean? I wanted to play Spider-Man, I'm not even gonna get that chance. The game was ass anyways, but that could have been like the extra, the straw that broke the camel's back or whatnot. But
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's all we have for you guys this week. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and sticking with us. Trap Buddha. And we got a couple of randoms in there. Becky with the good hair, stuff like that. That's probably a bot. But yeah, everybody who's come clicked on the video, watching it, we appreciate you guys for watching the video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
See ya.
I love you, me.